Hi, I'm Captain Mike, and today we're going to do a video on how to make a silicone mold to cast resin objects in. This will be how to make a simple mold, and we're not going to cast big resin projects. It's mainly stuff like this right here, these little scarabs, things like that. This is a mold that I made earlier that I have been casting these scarabs in, and it's made out of RTV rubber, silicone rubber. And this is another one that I made that make little things you can put in bezels or use them for making jewelry. You can make these molds as simple as you want, or you can make them as complicated as you want. A real simple mold can be nothing more than, in this case, a plastic dish that I recycled. I poured plaster in the bottom to level it out, make it flat, because it has an indentation. And we're going to cast some stuff using this coaster right here with a little dragonfly on it. It's a very porous coaster, but I will show you how the silicone rubber comes out. I had put some petroleum jelly on the bottom, and I mashed it down in there. And before I pour it, I'll clean it up a little bit with a Q-tip. It's as simple as that. You can make them out of nothing more than a piece of glass or a piece of Resin or plexiglass, a piece of PVC pipe cut to your size, and you can make it out of any size PVC pipe you want. You simply place it on the glass. You take some modeling clay and put it around the edges. You put your object inside and you glue it. In this case, we have a disc that I have glued inside here. This is a disc that I'm going to use in a resin video, and I needed something I could use to cast all the resin in so I could compare their clarity and color. So you can do that, or you can make one like this. This is made totally out of Resin or plexiglass. You make it to the size you want it, to the height you want it, and super glue it, or use E6000, whatever. I use super glue on that. You can make them out of wood. This is a simple piece of 1/4-inch plywood, some sticks I got from the Napa store to stir paint with, and you get these at Walmart. They're less than $1 a piece. Just if you want to make a mold of an owl, a bird, or a ladybug. That's all you have to do. And they're very easy to make them out of scraps. And so pretty much that's it as far as making the mold. I mean, you know, I don't have to show you, I don't have to actually cut this stuff to show you. This is as simple as it gets right there. I am going to take this little guy that I've had for quite some time. It is some kind of a reproduction. I coated him liberally with petroleum jelly. Again, I will skeech it down, and I will stir the stuff up, pour it in, and of course I'll clean up around him, and that will make a mold right there. So before we get started with the actual RTV rubber, you're going to need some gloves, and you're going to need some cups. I use these cups from Walmart. They're the cheap plastic cups. You'll need one of those to mix up your catalyst in, and of course you'll need some scales. You can get you some digital scales. You'll need a popsicle stick, and it doesn't hurt to have an apron if you wanted to have an apron. This stuff gets in your clothes, it's not going to come out. So with that in mind, that's it. Some eyewear, of course. That's almost a given. You always use your eyewear. The product that I'm going to use today is Aero Marine Silicone RVT rubber. I've used a lot of this. A lot of companies make it. Nothing wrong with anybody else's product. This is just what I happen to use, okay? And I have it on hand today. It comes with the actual RTV rubber, and then you get the catalyst. It turns the RTV rubber purple, has a pleasant smell, and it has about a 45-minute work time, cures in 24 hours. You can actually demold it in less time than that. About $110 from Aero Marine's website for a gallon, and it is pricey. Because it's pricey, before you start mixing this stuff up, make sure you have extra molds on hand. Just even molds you won't even get around to pouring. But for instance, I use this little mold here, which is a bunch of little honeybees on a honeycomb. This is a soap mold. It makes a positive. I keep a lot of stuff handy. Here's a little polymer clay mold that makes a nice little lady, kind of a talisman. I keep things like that around. I keep all kinds of soap molds, different kind of molds, so that if I am caught with extra RTV rubber, I have something to pour it into. And usually you have more RTV rubber than you think you do. So with that said, we are going to stir some of this stuff up. Let me get a popsicle stick. Stirring this stuff up is as simple as this. You have your RTV. Now there's 10 ounces here because it's mixed 10 to 1, and it would just be easier for me to pour 10 ounces and 1 ounce of catalyst. If you want a different amount, you're going to have to do the math. You pour the catalyst into the RTV and you start to pour. And you are going to think that it's not going to mix. It takes a while. And because it takes a while, we're going to pause this video, stir this stuff up, and come back when we are ready to pour it. My silicone is all stirred up. Take your time when you're stirring this stuff. Make sure it's stirred completely. It will turn a nice lavender color. Scrape the sides and the bottom very good so that all the white RTV is mixed with the purple catalyst. Don't worry about bubbles with this stuff. The bubbles will all rise to the top. Now, what we do, we start off, we'll pour this little guy first, okay? And on square and rectangular molds, I start pouring from the corner and just let it kind of go in one spot and let it just kind of run like lava all over him. This might be one of those cases where I didn't mix up enough to do multiple objects, but we'll see. I would like to get this guy in the coaster. Might not happen. In fact, it's not going to happen. But this guy will be a nice casting to cast in resin. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough to do anything but him, but that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little more RTV, and then I will pour these others off camera and we'll demold them all at the same time. But you can see the bubbles rising, and they'll all come to the top, and that's it. That's the pouring of the RTV. This stuff will not stick to anything except more RTV. So you don't have to worry about a release or any kind of a agent to help the RTV come loose. It's going to come loose on its own. Okay, folks, let's let this stuff set up and we'll be back for the unmolding. Okay, this stuff is cured overnight, and we will demold everything. First is the container I told you everything would pop out of. And it does. It just comes right out. So you have a clean container, that's not a problem. It'll even come off the popsicle stick if you wanted it to. It's that simple. The way I demold these is to get me a bamboo skewer and kind of place it underneath, just slide it down, and it just pops right up if you get it really good. There you go, and you can pull it out. And there's my little honeybees on the comb. That's a positive now. I can use that to make plaster molds if I want to. And let's see here what we wouldn't do next. Now on these larger ones like this, I take my hands and I push kind of down. I just go around the edges like that and kind of help loosen them up a little bit. You'll hear them come loose. Take your stick, push it under there. And it'll take a couple of tries. I mean, you know, you may even break your stick. It helps if the material is closer to the top than this. See, I broke that stick. I'll have to get another one. Well, let's just get something a little bit more substantial, because this mold here is just too high. I've got a good 1.5 inches. So we'll get under it like this. It is going to be harder to do than normal. Okay, that's it. Once you get a hold of it, it pulls right loose, just like that. And that's a mold. That one kind of took on some of the characteristics of the stuff there, but it'll clean up. It'll make a great cast. Okay, that's that one. And let's see what we got here. This is my round one that I'm gonna, you know, like this right here, that I'm going to make samples with. And again, if you can just get your fingers and grab a hold of it, it comes right on out. It's that simple. Boom, just like that. Just work it on out. Nice, smooth. It will be as smooth as your master, whatever your master is. Okay, this is the little hearts. I pour it up. Yeah, the big trick is just getting your finger under it the first time. And once you get your finger under it, it comes right on out. Just like that. And I saved this one for last because it's probably going to be a little problematic. It has that 3D guy in it, remember? And I really never cast anything. Oops, that's okay. It popped off. That's actually a good thing because it was just kept on with a little super glue. So then you can get a hold of it. And you can just pull him right on out, just like that. You can put your mold back together if you want to. And then to demold him, you just kind of slowly but surely pop him right out. Even if there's some overlap, your master will come out. You don't want to break him, because I don't know what he's made out of, to be quite honest with you. Like I said yesterday, it's a reproduction of something I bought at a show. And I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, there he is. Took some of the patina that was probably artificially put on him off in there. And so I will cast that up and see what kind of a cast I get. Just for grins and giggles, and to kind of close this thing out, this is one of the molds with some of the resin that I'm testing. And this is how they demold, just like that. You take out the little resin piece, and that's what will be tested against the other pieces of resin that I have, and that's it. That is the process of building yourself a mold out of various materials, mixing and pouring the RTV, and letting it cure, and popping it out of the molds, and you have yourself a mold that'll last for a long, long time. Okay, I'm Captain Mike. That's my video, And I'm out of here.